What up, and welcome to my channel. And today we're gonna be making a chicken stew roast. Okay, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe because we finna get into it. Okay, so first off, I'm using my Just Meats Hawaiian chicken teriyaki. Okay, they got some new flavors, y'all. Get you some Just Meats, justmeats.com. Make sure you use my code. Okay, I'm gonna have it down in the description, but you're gonna want a box of meat. Okay, because the flavors are phenomenal. Now, I'm using 2 packages because I got some meat. I like to use, that's why they keep sending me meats, because I'm gonna keep using them, you know. So instead of doing something simple, you know, I like to think outside the box anyway, but I just couldn't think of what I wanted to do, and then this just came into my mind. I'm like, you know what, I want a taste of a chicken pot roast, but also without baking it, but giving stew vibes. You know, that's what this is. That's what this is. I had put up a clip before in the past, but I didn't put up the recipe. And then I started getting more people asking, where's the recipe? Where's the recipe? How do you make it? So I had to go ahead and make it again, basically, and kind of do what I did then, but here. The only thing is I never make everything the same. I always do something differently every time I make something, unless I want it exactly like that. But with this, I'm doing some things differently. Okay, so you know, Just Meats is 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes of cooking the meat. Okay, because it's pre-cooked, pre-seasoned, premium protein. Okay, so you don't even have to cook it long. 5 minutes. I let it cover it, cook these chicken thighs. Now I didn't put the Just sauce on it like you normally do with the Just Meats, because I don't want the chicken teriyaki. I don't want that teriyaki sauce, but I'm gonna keep the sauce. Basically, I'm gonna use the sauce another time on something else, but I didn't use the Just sauce on this. Okay, because I'm creating my own flavors, because like I said, I'm creating a stew. So the only seasonings I added on this was black pepper, Cajun seasoning, and what was the other one? Paprika. I have a lot of seasonings at the bottom for sure, but you know, sometimes I'll be forgetting because I make so many things that I be having to like kind of refresh myself because I get carried away. Okay, so like I said, less than 5 minutes of cooking this Hawaiian chicken teriyaki Just Meats chicken thighs. Okay, boneless chicken thighs. After that got done, I took that off. I added some butter, and we're gonna add the veggies onto this too. So like I said, I'm going into this with everything that I would want in my chicken pot roast, but I'm not going to be baking this. But we still gonna get the vibes. So I cut up some baby carrots, like a full package of baby carrots. Okay, and then I cut up some yellow potatoes. These were the small potatoes too, because they didn't have no russets. I don't mind that either, but just make sure you wash your potatoes off real good. Okay, real good if you don't peel them. But I just went ahead and I added these are going to take the longest to cook, since I said I'm not baking this, so you're going to have to steam this longer. You're going to have to steam the potatoes and the carrots a little longer than everything else, and this what I was doing. So with this, I just added the chicken bouillon cube, because you know that's high in sodium, so you won't have to really add too much season. You're not going to see too many high sodium seasonings, and if it is a high sodium seasoning, I'm not going to really be putting nothing else with it. Because like I said, with this, like I said, I'm going, it's like a cross, like a mash, like a mashup. That's what this basically is going to be. So that's why I call it a chicken stew roast, because it had the flavor of a pot roast, but the consistency almost of a stew. It was giving stew vibes looking at it. But you saw, you're going to see. So once, like maybe not even halfway, but basically once I cook the potatoes and the carrots down, because this one like a medium high heat. Once I cook them down a little bit, like they're not tender yet. It's going to take a minute before they become tenderness to my liking. Like this going to be all together about 3 hours of cooking for real. And this going to depend on tenderness, because that's the biggest thing. Everybody don't like, there's some people like super tender things, and that's how you want this. You want these potatoes and the carrots. I like my stuff tender. Okay, so I'm adding a whole thing of ranch, the whole package. Okay, whole thing of ranch. I'm not opposed to store brand. I don't know about everybody else. You could call it cheap if you want to. I'm not opposed to store brand. If that's what they got, it's all to serve the same purpose, fam. You feel me? So I added the whole thing of ranch seasoning. Okay, I don't be tripping about brands. I'm not a big brand person. I like brands, but I'm gonna use what I gotta use, what I can get my hands on. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is. So I let everything just kind of cook for a little bit. You see it's bubbling. I let it kind of bubble up a little bit, let it cook. Now I'm going to add my whole thing of mild pepperoncinis. Okay? They was mild, but they still was packing heat, fam. Okay? Now this was definitely one of them meals, especially when it was fresh. It was really letting the nose run. The spiciness was really getting through me, because them pepperoncinis definitely add spice, but it's that flavor of them that I love. I love the taste of pepperoncinis. Like, they add such a delicious addition to the. I see why they added to pot roast. I love it. I found this roasted chicken gravy seasoning. I was just gonna get a regular chicken gravy, but roasted chicken gravy, you know me, I'm going to always take it up a notch. And if you don't know that, get to know that, okay? I'm always going to take stuff up a notch. And I ain't never heard of an old roasted chicken gravy, okay? I would normally just use the au jus. But no, we're going to take it to the roasted chicken. If you can find that, you might have to go back. I'm going to still put it in the description box of the ingredients. But you just, listen, get that. Because that stuff good. So at this point, we just allowing everything to cook. I added some water, just enough to kind of submerge it a little bit. And at this point, it's going to thicken up. So we on a medium heat at this point. It's going to thicken up. Okay. At this point, we just are waiting for, this is all on you as far as your tenderness and your consistency. So I'm just covering it until the potatoes are tender. And the carrots too, because the carrots take longer than the potatoes. So I don't like them too hard, and I don't want them extremely, I don't want them mushy. Not mushy, not too hard. Right in the middle. Like I want all my veggies, just right in the middle. Now at this point, you can taste it. You know what I'm saying? You can taste it. I added a little bit of black pepper. I added a little bit of seasoned salt. And I know I used the rest of my lemon and garlic FLAVORGOD seasoning. I used the rest of that. Not all them seasonings are gone. Okay? Now, I love using seasonings. That's why they keep sending them to me, because I'm going to show your seasoning and I'm going to use it. I'm always shopping for seasonings. I like to, I'm all about the flavors. So if you got the flavors, hit me up. Okay? Hit my line. Make sure you follow me. Make sure, make sure you follow it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you're subscribing. If you will make this, if you would enjoy this, let me know. I just kind of came up off the dome with this. I just kind of, sometimes I just picture what I want, even if I ain't never tasted it, even though I kind of technically had this. I just kind of picture what I want, and then I got to execute it. So once I can't get a recipe out my mind, once it's already in my brain follicles moving, I got to execute it. I have to make it. That's just how I roll, I always got food. I'm always making something. I'm always cooking, because at the end of the day, we got to eat, me and mine, we got to eat. I got to eat, even if it was just me, I'm going to eat. I come from my family, I was raised on love and food. Okay. Love and food. I come from a family of food, and we going to eat. If we don't do nothing else, we eat good, and we going to make sure everybody around does good. And that's just what it's all about, So this was delicious. Now, this you can also you can put this on top of many things. You can put it on a bed of rice. You can put it on a bed of egg noodles. You can put it on a bed of mashed potatoes. It really depends on you and what you like. But there's a number of things. You can put it on a bed of just noodles in general. I prefer with this egg noodles, or my second go-to is rice. But with my egg noodles, I need them. I knew I wanted some egg noodles with this. I knew it was going to be fire, and it always is. So at this point, I'm just kind of stirring it, just kind of, I don't know, just kind of trying to make sure just checking, because it's just a lot of checking in this process, just making sure that it's tender, making sure those potatoes are tender, and making sure them carrots are tender too. Now, I'm going to show you the egg noodles I use, because this was my first time using them by Cremette. Look at that. Look at the potato. You see that? That's tender. You need that. Tender. You need that tenderness. Okay? You need that. So at this point, since this is about done, I'm going to just put the top on this and cook my egg noodles real quick, because it's not going to take long for you to cook the egg noodles. Okay? I followed the packaging, and just like with the egg noodles, I don't like them mushy, and I don't want them too hard. So a nice done firmness, basically. That's what I want, because like I said, I'm gonna be putting this on top of that. This is gonna be on a bed of egg noodles, and the egg noodles will be seasoned. Okay, because I don't even play that. I don't even play it. Look at this. Comfort food. It's perfect for, I feel like this is the perfect like Sunday meal, or just a day where you just really want to feel you really want to feel that comfortness. You know, it's just on one of those days when you really want some soul food. Like this gonna get you. This gonna touch the soul. Okay. Most of my foods do, but anything like this, you know, this little stew vibe. Now I added more water because I wanted a little bit more gravy. I didn't want it to, you know, it ain't gonna dry out obviously, but and I rotated seasonings, so I just added some black pepper, added some more seasoning salt. Okay, so and more Cajun seasoning. But at this point, you ain't gonna really have to add too much because the ranch seasoning that's a lot in itself. But since I keep adding water, I have to adjust the seasonings, so it's not too salty. When you add water, it tends to take the seasoning down some. So that's just what that's about. Now I'm using fresh broccoli. Okay, I just kind of steam that on the stove and let that get tender to my liking too, because I don't like it mushy either. I like a nice firm broccoli. So I added my everything seasoning, my black pepper, and some seasoned salt on my broccoli, and I just put the top on that and allowed that to get tender a little bit, just kind of tenderize a little bit. Kind of basically, I'm kind of steaming it because I did put a little bit of water in it, but so I don't want it to get too mushy. No, we not doing no mush over here. Okay, we do mush for the babies. Now this for the egg noodles. Okay, I said this for the egg noodles. This is the egg noodles I'm using. This is all they had. It was this or a whole grain egg noodle, which I'm going to try one day because I love whole grain thing. I like whole grain items. My favorite bread is whole grain. No, whole wheat. Whole grain, whole wheat. Yeah, the same thing. So this was the finished product. Well, this ain't the finished plate, but this is the finished product. This is when I got everything tender to the liking. Like I said, it's going to take about a good 3 hours because anything that need to be slow cooked, you're going to have to just slow cook it. And it's one of them things that got to be slow cooked. You cannot rush this, okay? You can't rush this tenderness. You can't rush it. If you want some soul food, comfort food for real, you ain't going to be able to rush that, you know? Otherwise, you just don't need to be the one making it. Or you can. You're just going to have to be patient. Patience is a virtue, okay? I got to work on that myself, but you can do it. Anybody can do it. You can make this. You can do anything you want to do. Anything you're trying to achieve, do, dream, believe, you can do it. You know, reach for the stars because the sky is the limit. And it really ain't even a limit, you know? It's limitless. Everything, it ain't no limit. Ain't no limit. Just go for it, you know? This is the egg noodles. I add a little bit of butter, add a little bit of black pepper, and just a little bit of seasoned salt, and a little bit of that lemon and garlic seasoning. Just a little bit more of that, and then I finish that off. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, okay?